Hello, Oracles! Wow, Tesla smashes earnings. So looking at right now, we are up about 3.5% after hours. We are still awaiting the call. We will see what happens on there. I'm just going to quickly run down some of the key numbers that I had seen, what we were looking at. So it looks like Tesla they're basically debt-free. They have $100 million in debt. That is it. They've got operating margins of 19.2%, which smashed my 17.4% numbers and blew away the 15% I thought that the market was looking for. So completely destroyed those numbers. Automotive gross margins are 32.9%. I was looking at about 30.1%, so they smashed those numbers as well. They had mentioned that they were able to increase the prices of vehicles, but also brought down the cost of vehicles, despite the fact that the costs of a lot of their goods had gone up. So this is a great sign considering we haven't even really gotten to the 4680 ramp, which is going to bring down costs even more significantly. Now, their overall revenues came in pretty close to where I was guessing. I had about 18.5 billion, they came in at 18.7 billion, and they had EPS that came in at $2.86, which was higher than my $2.73 guesstimate. So completely destroying all these numbers here. And even despite regulatory credits, which were definitely higher than was anticipated, they still hit 30% margins despite regulatory credits. Some keynotes that we kind of figured they were going to do is they just reiterated the 50% annual growth year over year. They reiterated, they're starting with the 2170s in Berlin. They will be switching over to the 4680s. No specific timeline on that. In their roadmap, they really have, model-wise early ramp in Berlin and Austin. Cybertruck, Semi, Roadster are still in development with a future product still in development. That's been there forever, so we don't know what that's going to be. Maybe we find out on the earnings call with Elon tonight. We shall find out. And they did reiterate the fact that they have been running below capacity due to supply chain issues for several quarters. We heard this last quarter as well, and this is still going forward. So they are still meeting expectations despite supply chain issues. So just imagine when supply chain issues alleviate themselves. And of course, this is one of the reasons why Elon is setting themselves up to be able to be their own supplier so that in the future, if this ever happens again, they're not going to have to rely on anyone else. They're not going to be affected by supply chain issues because they are their own supply chain. And of course, they did give their typical warning about production ramps take time. There are things that happen when they come up. And I think it's great because they always give this line during the new ramps, but they always exceed those expectations. So it's a beautiful sandbagging that they do at this time, because they know that they're going to do well, but they're going to give us these words. So just in case something does not go well, they've got this saying, we had said that this is going to happen. But, as we can see, they are still exceeding all of the expectations that we have put forth. So those are all the basic highlights from the earnings report that we had gotten. So again, smashing with 19.2% operating margins, smashing with 32.9% gross vehicle margins, EPS coming in at $2.86. Amazing numbers across the board. It's about a 30% beat. So I will be awaiting the call. I'm going to get on there and see if there's any more information that we get. I'll put out a video tomorrow morning once I get all this news digested so you guys can get updated there. In the comments down below, I will put a link to the earnings report and a link to the call for tonight in case you guys want to jump on. Now, I did say that I normally don't buy ahead of earnings, but when Tesla's down 4% on the day, I can't help myself. So I did add at 1017, 1000, and 979 today to my Tesla portfolio. And now, after hours, we're moving all over the place, but we're basically back to where we started the day right now. So it was a great buy at the time. Let's see how this continues. My advice, it's not advice, I can't give financial advice, but for my own self, my own advice for me is this is amazing fundamental news that we just got from the company. So my thoughts about this are we did extremely well even if for some reason the stock turns around and goes red and we dip down, this will be an amazing buying opportunity. That's just my thoughts for myself, not financial advice. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.